let's get to ACER, which has revealed a new desk bike combo that also powers your devices as you go. Let's take a look at the ACER. What's it called? The powered. Let's take a look at that new kinetic energy bike from ACER. Ekinect BD3. That's it. It's as you pedal the Ekinect BD3, power is provided to the bike's desks, 2 USB ports, and according to ACER, an hour of constant cycling at about 60 RPM can generate about 75 watts of power. Let's take a look.
Use the Ekinect companion app to check your time, distance and speed, plus how many calories you've burned and how many watts of power you've generated. You don't have to choose between your job and an active lifestyle.
All right, Fisayo Durojaye joins us now, of course, and also Shakirat Adigun from Financial Derivatives Company Ltd. Fisayo is the head of strategic finance at FinAccess. So, lady and gentlemen, what do we think? Why are you guys laughing? When we did this last time, you're pessimistic about the tech that came out of it. Let's start with the electric cars, and I think we should also be looking at Afila, which is also from Sony and Honda. But starting with BMW. Okay, let me start with you, Shakirat. What do you make of, and I hope we'll get the footage of that vehicle at any moment now, but what do you make of the of what BMW presented yesterday?
Okay, first of all, I actually like the presentation. I like the fact that they brought in the they brought in the Night Rider kits, and then the Herbie, the car. So it's basically like, oh, I'm the new bae in town type of this thing. And then I like the fact that basically it's called the future EV sports sedan that can talk to you or can talk back to you. Let's just say like an Alexa, but in a sports sedan type of this thing. And then the fact that the body is, you can change, the panels of the car, the body parts can actually change colors. I think that's really cool. Then the entire windshield is like a display in which you can navigate. Let's just say like, rather than physically using the knobs and all that, there's like on the dashboard, there's a projection of a slider in which there's a sensor that can help you slide. Like, you know, it's giving me that sci-fi type of vibe, yeah. So you can really move it and then navigate that. I think that's really cool. Okay. Then the grille in front, it has different shapes and hues that can make a facial expression. Imagine a car frowning at you and all of that. Then also there's an avatar that you can create that shows at the window. Let's just say it wants to say hello, greets the person who's trying to, and like the driver, they have an avatar that can show on the windscreen. So I think that's pretty cool. It's giving me futuristic vibes. Good. There.
So you're on the bullish side. Let's get the bearish take from Fisayo, because Fisayo has his own thoughts on electric. What do you think, Fisayo?
I mean, I want a car.
Okay.
Right. I want to move from point A to point B. Right. I don't want any form of distractions, except the self-driving. Right, where I don't have to, I just sit down and of course the car takes me to wherever I want it to go. But all these other, dashboards, they, to a large extent, they cause distractions to the driver. Yeah. And if not, even the passenger. I mean, people can play video games, people can, be watching, cartoons and playing games. I mean, it's a car for God's sake, right? Let's focus on the primary, aspects of mobility, which is safely transporting me from one location to another. And of course, while all of these, other additions are maybe good, right? We should not major on the minor, which is around safety of the people in the vehicle. Right, and I think that for me is the critical thing. What are the safety features that I'm seeing? How, if I run into a truck, what happens to me? What happens to the passengers around? What happens to the baby strapped into in the car seat? I mean, those are the key things I want to see more improvement on. All these other things I just described as I'm concerned. I mean, they are good to have. I mean, they are nice to have. Yeah. But the core features, are they focusing on those major features that are important?
Okay, so. On the driverless side of the distractions, does it mean that technology is going towards a future that is driverless, which is why you would see video games and movies and all these and an interactive dashboard in a vehicle? Is that where we're going, and is that why these features are now being here and there?
I don't think that the driverless feature is far-fetched, because I've seen that in some cities already. Working. Of course, there are some crashes that you can't explain because the vehicle, some bugs, some software glitches. We've seen all of that, but I we can see improvements in those navigation things, in brakes, in how smart these vehicles or the software driving them could become. So we can see that future, right? But today, when you still have to depend solely or largely on some human being driving the car or moving the car in a certain direction, right? Putting all the distractions around it could be a lot more detrimental to the overall good rather than good for everyone.
Let's take a look at the Afeela vehicle coming from Sony and Honda. Let's take a look at that. All right, what do we make of Sony and electronics conglomerates collaborating with Honda to make a car? What do we think about that?
Okay, first, when you say Sony, the first thing that comes to my mind is PlayStation.
Right.
So there we have virtual reality and basically all those game things and all of that.
Yeah.
And then Honda, it's an automobile. So both of them coming together, to me, is going to be like probably a virtual reality car for me.
Yeah.
So I can play games, like you said before. I can play games.
Which Fisayo doesn't like. Access the distraction. Yeah.
So it's basically going to be if I was to be in the car, it's going to be an interesting thing for me. But then the features being like it has like 45 cameras and sensors that can detect when objects are coming around, and then for high level of autonomy. I think that's really cool.
So again, the same while on that same path. So are you going to say the same thing?
No, I mean, it's the path, right? Yeah. So it's autonomous vehicles, self-driving cars, all of that. Yeah. So I think it's good. But for me, I think for Sony and Honda, this is to a large extent premature. Yeah. Because they've not put together the rim of the vehicle. Yeah. They just showed some
prototype,
some prototype, and then hopefully the car will be ready in 2030. Yeah. But they just want to show up at the CES and say, yes, we are working on something. That said, I think that one thing that on the positive side now is that when you find two companies collaborating, leveraging their strengths, bringing up their strengths together to ensure that they create something, using the word magical, right? That's impressive, right? And we need to see a lot more of those collaborations, across just not just Japanese companies, but across the globe. Maybe it's something that someone else can. I mean, Apple and say Tesla should work together. Put in Siri and combine that in a Tesla vehicle, and of course the communication that you're having the last time is done, is sorted, right? I'm just saying that there are different points of collaboration across many tech companies.
Speaking of Tesla, back to your topic. Do we have an image of the crash? There was that, which it turns out wasn't an accident. It was a deranged individual who was trying to commit suicide and drove off a cliff in California or somewhere with his family, and so yeah, there it is. But all four of them, all inhabitants, they survived. So is this to your point, Fisayo, about the safety features of these vehicles?
It's enhanced safety. You see, Tesla had done all this distraction before. They had to remove them. Yeah. All this video playing, they had to move them to the back seats. Well, they moved them to the back seats so that the drivers are not distracted, right? But they enhanced the feature of it. You can imagine crashing on a regular, vehicle.
Yeah.
Even accidents are not this bad. People lose their lives. Airbags will refuse to
deploy.
To be deployed. Just many things. But when a car is safe and secure, you can get in and know that worst case scenario, my car is designed to protect me, not just for me to be entertained while in it, but if anything goes wrong, which I don't expect to go wrong, but if anything, that's why it's called an accident. This is not even an accident. This is a clear case of suicide,
right,
where someone wants to die, and then the car says, no, you are staying alive. And that is the car I want to be in.
Okay, well, let's quickly, and we're glad they all survived. I want to get to ACER. ACER is offering a laptop, and they also debuted this laptop that has 3D images without glasses. The OLED laptop. What do we make of this? The fact that you can use, I guess, without using 3D glasses, having this imagery come out.
Okay, I think this is basically for those in creative professions, like the architects and the designers, and it's pretty interesting for those that are there. And then you can basically work and view items with in 3D without actually using the glasses. Then they have this spatial vision, in which is going to be debuting in 2 of their 16-inch laptops this year, actually. The Pro Art Studio book and then the Vivo book. Then it has this lenticular lens that allows easy switching from 2D to 3D. Then these 3D effects can be applied in games, movies, and any other application that actually supports 3D. So it's really... It's a good, yeah.
So what do you think about the OLED?
I'll buy that. I mean, I'll buy that. It's available this year.
Yeah.
It's practical. The use cases are there. You don't have to buy another device because you want to experience something in 3D. You can just do all of that within the same system that you have, and it's designed essentially for that. It's not going to be a problem of maybe graphics card or RAM or all of that has been because it is specifically designed for the profession, and I think it's particularly impressive. I think of all of the things that I've seen, I think of this concern, all this we're discussing.
We didn't. Of all of them, this is the most practical. What about the bike? Sorry, I didn't get your thoughts on the bike. The ACER, the bike that you can use to plug. I mean, using your own energy to charge your devices. What do you guys think of the bike?
Yeah, I like that one because I can work out and as well be using my system, and I like the fact that if I want to use the system, the table is adjustable to the seat. So if I'm in work mode where I'm pedaling and I'm typing, the table comes closer to the chair. Yeah. But then when I want to be on sports mode or beast mode, can push. But I think Lotus would like this one because when it's leg day with this guy.
Fisayo, what do you think about the bike?
It's a nice to have, really. Yeah. It's nothing special. I mean, we've seen.
well, in terms of, I'm almost out of time. But in terms of the whole. Net zero and way more energy efficient. The fact that you're pedaling and your pedaling is what is creating the energy to charge your devices. Do you find any positive, anything bullish there at all?
Have you tried to respond to an email?
Why you're pedaling?
Right. So, just think about how difficult that would be. Yeah. Someone just got you and you want to respond like, okay, I'm going to, and then you're trying to pedal and then trying to respond at the same time. I mean, if I want to work, let me work. If I want to exercise, let me exercise. I don't think that bringing both together adds any, it doesn't change a lot, right? It's a nice to have. I mean, I'll probably buy it if I want to, I have a pedaling table there, but it doesn't change the world as far as I'm concerned.
So the only thing, out of everything we've looked at, you just ACER. Like the laptop, the 3D laptop, and Shakirat, you like all of them.
And actually all of them.
Yeah. All right, guys, we appreciate you coming on. I guess, look, we'll see what else comes out of CES 2023. Yes, I have to make sure we're in the new year, and then see what happens. All right, so Fisayo Durojaye, Head of Strategic Finance at FinAccess, and Shakirat Adigun, Analyst at Financial Derivatives Company Ltd. Thank you for the tech review today. Appreciate your time.